like school.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen's meeting for March 10th, 2014. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's probably two folks that need to get to another meeting. We've got the library, the water testing for the library, and I think the historical commission is the other.
We'll take the item for discussing the public water supply regulations for the new Taft Library. You guys want to come up?
As part of the progress we've been making on the library project, one of the items we had to look into was whether or not the library requires a public water supply because of the use. One of the common denominators for that use is if they serve more than 25 people a day, 60 days a year. So Fred has been hired by Abacus to do the site civil work for the project, which we're very happy with, and he's been looking into that. And he's been having discussions with the state DEP on their regulations, and I'll pass it over to Fred because he can do a much better job explaining it than I can.
All right.
Well, basically, we have to submit information to DEP so they can give us a determination as to whether or not it qualifies as a water supply. We have to give them Zone 1 information and the use of the town library's water. How many people use the facility on a daily basis, how many people work at the library, and all that information is compiled together and they make a determination.
Okay.
Part of what they need to look into for that is up there currently, you've got the rectory and the church, both served off of one well, which comes into the rectory. That will be part of their determination as well.
One of the things that we learned is the entire facility has to be taken into consideration, not just the use for the library, but if there is anticipated use for the attached single-family house, as well as any meetings that might be used after hours. I understand there's some anticipated use for town committees or...
Whoa, sorry.
No, the DEP just came in and kind of did a whole audit on the town, so that is the current library?
They're on this well here for this, from the town hall, so that's already considered.
Covered. All right.
Well, as far as, we don't have it, I mean, yeah, there's been a bunch of ideas thrown around, but at this stage of the game, I don't know that it would be, that we're gonna know in 6 months or, 3 years, whether or not we know what we're gonna do with that facility, the house, the rectory part of it. So I would just, take into account whatever they need to. I don't think there's gonna be anybody or any meetings or anything taking place physically in there, and there would need to be some renovation done before we can even do that.
I think what Fred was talking about with the meetings was if the library will have a meeting space in it, and if that was to be used after hours.
In what, in the rectory?
No,
Library.
in the library.
Oh,
So that'd be part of the traffic that we got.
I'm sorry.
We'd want to put some characterization on how the single-family house could be used, just so that we could keep the door open to that.
Sure.
DEP is going to take all the use that is anticipated.
I guess, hold on, I guess I'm still confused, and I apologize. Because so we're talking about okay, we need to submit some paperwork for the new library as far as the well, whether or not we're gonna have over 25 people over a 60-day period, which we know is yes.
And we have all the information from the library side from Andrew. Andrew
Yes.
has
Okay.
provided all of that.
Yes.
for us.
So from the rectory side of the house, if that's what we're talking about, right now, zero.
There's no anticipated use for the rectory, as far as I know.
And I think that what it comes down to is, once it's certified as a public well, if we decide to use the rectory, maybe we just have to notify them and maybe go through some other
We have to
steps.
go back and revisit the application or something.
Right, I think that right now, if we had to put something on that, and I don't know if you guys agree, that we would just, nothing's happening in there right now. You know, as nothing more than maybe a walkthrough once a month or something, just to make sure everything's okay in there. But there'll be no meetings, no committees, no board, no departments living in that space at this time. But I guess that what I would put on there is the anticipation is that we were going to use that for some sort of future municipal use. We just don't know yet.
The process of DEP making this, and it's actually the public drinking water program, that process is a fact-finding process that analyzes the whole water system all the way from the well to whatever fixtures are involved. We have to, what will eventually have to be done by the water manager is all the facilities, all the fixtures in the whole building, including the attached house, will have to be put in. It's an audit
Okay.
of the whole facility.
Now, one other quick question. Is it reasonable to have a separate well just for the library and leave the rectory well on its own? Or is that just, an extreme cost that's not necessary?
Hopefully, that would be an extreme cost that's not necessary, because
Okay.
it could get rather expensive.
Okay, again, just wondering if it's better to separate them out, because we were talking about, separating by demolishing right now, the breezeway that connects the two. So I would assume that if the water comes into the rectory, somehow underground, the pipe is getting
Underneath the breezeway.
underneath the breezeway.
That's actually basement space of the rectory.
Oh, it is? There's, okay, so there's an opening there? So the basement and the basement of the rectory is ultimately tied to the church side, just by concrete? There's
Shared exterior walls.
Okay, thanks. All right. Okay, yeah, as far as, are you, okay, I guess, were you looking for direction from us? Or?
I'm just a
We
question.
wanted to bring you up to date that this issue is out there, that we're working our way through it, and we
So
wanted the board to
why
be
is this?
aware.
Why would this be characterized as an issue? It's just. It's.
Well, it's, the idea of whether or not it's a public water supply
Right.
is, it's at the base of whether or not the proposed use in the future can move forward and be acceptable to the drinking water program.
But we know we need a public water supply for the library itself, correct?
Public water supply is a specific
Right.
term. Yes, you need water, obviously.
No, but I mean,
But-
like, the public water supply in the specific term, or is that yet to be determined?
It is yet to be determined.
Okay, so
It's
that-
not a
the issue
given that it is going to
Because
be.
you've got sort of a contiguous rectory there that shares the same well, and the same plumbing, et cetera, they're gonna look at that and say, is there potential
Right.
traffic through
Yeah.
that building that would put us over the threshold, right?
And the fact that we have one well,
Right.
this limits the future capability of what you could do with the rectory if we keep it as one well. As Selectman Chairman said, right? If you dug a second well, if you any way to separate the use. If you have one well and it comes up through the rectory and then feeds the future library, it limits you if you wanted to do something completely independent with that rectory in the future. Or at that point, you
Why
have
would
to
it limit?
address-
Because they share a water supply, right?
Right, they share a water supply.
Yeah, but once we're deemed a public water supply, then the door's just open. It doesn't matter. Once you go over so many,
Well,
as a single family?
The regulations that
Well, then that's a
govern
different
this are a lot
situation.
more stringent than they were when the church and the rectory were built. We've got to bring it up to current codes.
Is there a
Agreed.
recommendation in terms of including or not including? I don't think there's a planned, a determined future use yet, aside from the fact, as Chairman said, we've been talking about future use. Can't tell you what it is. So at this juncture, is there a recommendation you'd make on how to proceed, on whether to include it or think about it and give some framework for future use? Is that what you're looking for?
It could come up in the discussion. It's a matter of, it's not as hard and fast as the state website would indicate. There is fact-finding and there's discretion that is exercised on the entire situation.
What's the downside? Like, what could
Well,
go
the
south on
downside
this?
is if they found that it was a public water supply,
Yep.
if you're going to increase capacity of the well or use of the well at any point in the future, that everything has to be approved by DEP. If they can, it can also go another way. They'll gather all their facts. They may say, yes, this is a public water supply, but if you do A, B, and C, it doesn't have to be at this time a public water supply. So at some point in the future, you may need to define some sort of use, just to keep the door open. If it was leading towards a public water supply, I would say pick something, put a number on it to some extent, so that you don't have to get it permitted immediately if you had some idea of what you wanted to do.
Right, but it's, okay, but given the fact that it's, the library alone is going to put this into a public water supply, there's gonna be over 25 people a day in the library over a 60-day period.
Right, and that definition, that criteria comes from the EPA. Mass Drinking Water Program, however, uses a lot of site-specific information regarding the use, regarding Zone 1, its current condition, because Zone 1, the area around the well, is highly regulated if it's a public water supply. So they're going to, it is not a given, and the person I spoke to today said it is not a given that it's a public water supply.
Oh, okay.
So it's not as hard and fast as the website would indicate.
Understood. Okay, I see what you're saying now.
And if it's deemed not a public water supply, what is the impact of that on us?
Well, then if you were to substantially increase the capacity, it could always at some point be triggered. The public water supply regulations could be triggered in the future.
We won't have to do the testing that's involved, such as
Right.
here at the town hall.
We'll have a better idea of the answer to that question further along as we negotiate with DEP.
So it sounds like we got to pull the information together for the library, they're going to take a look at it, and then there'll be more information for us to understand. We'll have a better idea then if it's
Right.
going to be a public water supply or not. If it's not,
Right.
but we do have a plan at that time for future use of rectory, we probably want to kind of understand that at that time.
Yep,
Okay.
that's pretty much how it'll go.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Thank you so much. The Historical Commission would like to come up?
Good evening, gentlemen. Hello.
It is there's one item on here that we do have an open seat on the Historical Commission, term to expire June 30, 2014. For anybody that's interested, please send over a letter and we'll get you interviewed.
Okay, and I guess you also noticed that Tony has said that he is resigning at the end of this month.
The end of this, is that the seat that will become open, or?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, okay.
great.
And,
Thank you very much for your,
well, yes,
Alas.
I would like to say that he's going to be sorely missed.
I would agree.
I hate to see him go, because he, for one thing, he has a good channel into your office, and
Don't give anybody preferential treatment. Right?
Right?
but he also... Absolutely. He's very knowledgeable and a very hard worker, and
I would
I'm
agree
going to miss
100%.
him.
I would agree 100%.
That will leave me the only male on there, so I'm going to have to, well, maybe not, maybe I won't.
We'll find some.
We'll get another woman appointed.
All right.
Anyway, the reason we asked to come and talk to you tonight is that we have issued a notice of, a demolition delay notice on the Misco Spring property. And I think we sent you a copy of that, so you're
Yes.
aware of it. We don't feel that we have the expertise to be able to determine an alternative use of the building. We'd like to get some ideas, and maybe we can come up with some way that it can be economically feasible to save this structure.
Okay.
We don't want to save the tin buildings, we don't care about that, but
This
the
is the
old
stone
part of the
structure.
building, we would like to save. And so what we have done is we have set up to have a meeting next Wednesday night, a week from Wednesday, which would be the 19th. I don't know if we set a time, but I think it'd be 7 o'clock. And invite the various town boards to send people. And I think maybe real estate agents too should be involved, because they're the ones that know what can be done with this, so we'll send out notices to them.
Okay.
And see what we can get for ideas to make it work.
Okay. So on the 19th here at the town hall?
Yes.
Okay.
And I guess we'd like to have it here if,
Yeah, sure. We can even put it on television if you like.
that might be a good idea.
Okay.
And we certainly are open to ideas, and we invite everybody to come.
Perfect. No, it sounds like a great idea. That, have you guys had a chance to go into the building?
We did, Kathy and I went through it, Tony was working, and I don't know what's the matter with him, he does that stuff. Jane was off doing
I was there.
grandmother stuff.
I was there, Wayne.
You were there. Well, what can I say?
How was the internal structure? Is it still in good shape? Everything was good inside?
It's in pretty good shape, yeah. It's a pretty rugged building. It is a lot different than it was when I worked there, when I was 15 years old.
Right. What was the current use of that area now? Is it more just office space?
It's, I think it was mostly bottling space. The upper floors were office space, I guess, and but once it's cleared out like it is, there's an awful lot of room in there. You don't
Sure.
realize how big that building is.
Right.
It's over 13,000 square feet in just that
Really?
part alone. So,
Great. So on the 19th, 7 o'clock up here, we'll
Right.
have it televised as well.
Right.
Perfect.
Sounds great.
Just, we took photographs while we were in there.
Okay.
And we're in the process of trying to get a link together so that if you want to take a look at those photographs that we
Okay.
took.
All right, we can
Each
maybe
of
even
us.
link it right off the website if that's helpful for you guys as well, so people can take a look.
Yeah.
Right off of your page on the website. Okay, perfect.
Great.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Hey, thank you. Now we'll go down and talk about our other property.
All right.
won't be as a member.
With the planning board on the Cox property.
Oh, okay. Yep, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Consider a request, opening day parade, Saturday, April 26th, rain date, Sunday, April 27th.
I move to allow holding the Mendon Junior Baseball / Nipmuc Youth Softball Opening Day Parade on Saturday, April 26th, with a rain date of Sunday, April 27th, as described in Brian Morford's letter dated March 5th, 2014. The Assistant of the Mendon Police Department is granted in order to stop and control traffic on Millville Street and to prevent traffic from traveling on Kelly Road from 9:30 a.m. until conclusion of the parade. The participation of the Mendon Fire Department is also granted.
Second?
Discussion?
Brian's here, I don't know if she...
Come right on up if you'd like to.
Good evening.
Good evening. How's everything going?
Well,
Perfect. It is that time of year again, is it?
it is indeed.
Must be election season.
Everything that's anticipated is just as it's looked for years. I've been with the board this is my 9th year, so getting well versed with what happens that day.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, I think all the ones in the past have gone without incident. I don't see any reason to not vote for it, so. All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Very good.
We'll see you at the parade.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Good evening.
Appointment of Pam Irons from 12 Talbot Farm Drive to the Cultural Council.
I move to appoint Pamela Aarons, 12 Talbot Farm Drive, to the Cultural Council with a term to expire June 30th, 2017.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Is, discussion, further discussion continued from the special town meeting in regards to dental insurance premium reimbursement. Back to the town.
I have a thought on that one.
Yeah.
Right, so we had a chance, I would like to just, having thought about it, propose that we go ahead with the arrangement that was agreed to by a member of, the town hall staff, but then set policy, right? So I think it was 25
Yeah.
per week. I'm okay with that, but what I'd like to do is more set a policy now to say that on a go-forward basis, that this type of thing be reimbursed within, say, a set period, like a 12-month period. That way, I know I'd said I was more concerned with maybe precedent-setting stuff, but I'm okay because we've already had I'll say an agent of the municipality kind of talk to and agree to this. I say we honor that, but then we set policy on sort of a window that's fixed
Sure.
going forward.
My only caution on that item, and also I think that in situations like these, that even if there is a policy, that in certain situations, there may be an adjustment to be made. Because again, although we were, again, what was it? Is it $12 a week? What was the adjusted amount after the insurance went to the family plan? How much was the amount that it went up to? What was the difference?
The difference was 2107. What I did was I included that.
Okay.
So it was, the difference was 2107 per week, okay. So where, in situations like these, I'd just like to say where there was a mistake made when the adjustments were made, and we didn't start to withdraw it out of the employee's pay, it's slightly on us. Now, granted, the employee should have noticed that it wasn't coming out and maybe mentioned something, but I think that it's on us to make sure that it happens. And it being a $20 per week amount wasn't as big as going from a single to a family plan on your regular health insurance premium. My other question is, when this changed, the health insurance, did your health insurance premium change at the same time?
No, that was always a family plan.
Family plan, so this was just added, okay. So, again, it maybe should have been noticed, and maybe should have been brought up, but again, I think it's up to us to make sure that it happens. So, I would just say that, if something like this comes up again, it's looked at on a case-by-case basis, because even though we set policy, or maybe whatever that policy might be, we can work with, even with the town accountant and the collector on it as well, to come up with the best scenario. As far as the reimbursement, I think it's a good idea to definitely do what you're recommending, and I definitely would agree with the $25 a week, especially at this point. But, I think that there can be some leeway given in situations like these.
That's the beauty of policy.
Right.
The people on this board can change it.
Okay.
I was thinking, in terms of policy, if something was going to come out of this, would be to make sure that if something like this comes up again, that the issue is handled through the Board of Selectmen's office solely, so that people aren't making, there aren't things
Agreed.
going on outside that we aren't aware of, so.
And I think there's, we can kind of add some clarity to that, and I think as we fill the town administrator position, it should, flow through that role. But there's an operational component, I think, in the treasurer collector's office, I believe, but then there's an insurance aspect through our office. But I think it makes sense to kind of have, sort of centralize that with our office to start, so that way if there is an exception to be made, it's sort of can manage through us.
And again, I think
This board.
We'll probably see a lot more direction with the town administrator too, that can handle the day-to-day stuff in a better, in a having them deal with it on any employee issues that we have come up. That's really where it should be, and this is.
The good news is there's not a huge frequency of this for people watching.
And again, why I would reiterate that
Right.
case-by-case basis. Anyhow, okay, so, yep, so we'll get some policy made up. I need a motion, I guess, if we've got one.
We don't, but what do you want the motion on for the policy?
Not necessarily, the policy will,
To accept.
You all set?
yeah, so it would just be to accept a payment of $25 per week from Charlie Phipps until a total amount of $2,654.59 is reached.
So moved.
Who's seconded it? Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Charlie.
Thanks for your patience. Appreciate
Yes,
it.
for sure. That's a letter from Charlie. Why don't we make sure that gets filed? Consider, okay, common vic license, Imperial Gas LLC. We have a request for a common vic.
I move to grant a common vic license for Imperial Gas LLC, 1 Millville Street, to J.D. Doherty Dixon, pending receipt of a positive routing slip.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Consider common victular and new entertainment licenses for Imperial Ballroom LLC, 6 Nipmuc Drive, J.D. Doherty Dixon.
I move to grant a common victual license and Monday through Saturday entertainment and dancing by patrons license, an annual Sunday 1 p.m. to midnight entertainment license for a band, DJ, or comedy show at Imperial Ballroom LLC, 6 Nipmuc Drive, pending receipt of a positive routing slip.
Second?
Discussion, did you have any questions on that? I just saw you.
No, I just remember, no, go ahead.
Okay. I just didn't know if we had it right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well, I'm sure that my favorite Sunday ones come
I was
up.
gonna say, I'm waiting for Lonnie to give his usual, we have to have a license for this?
There was one, I printed up the
Talk
license.
about nonsense paper. I'm gonna go, I'm getting on my box again. Why do we need a license for people can dance on Sunday? There will be, and who is policing this? Who is dancing on a Sunday and not getting caught? That's what I want to know.
And I neglected to put on the agenda, the
Yep.
Miss Mendon Diner one, I didn't know.
Sure. Consider entertainment license for Miss Mendon Diner, Monday through Saturday, 6 p.m. to midnight. The address there is,
I move to grant a Monday through Saturday entertainment license to Miss Mendon Diner, 14 Uxbridge Road, building number 16.
Second?
discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I would assume they want a Sunday one, no?
No, he just said Monday through Saturday, I asked him to.
What happens if somebody gets married on a Sunday?
At Miss Mendon Diner.
No, I'm talking about the ballroom. The ballroom
The
doesn't have a
ballroom
Sunday
did
one.
it.
Did the-
Ballroom had Sunday.
Did I said Sunday on the motion, right?
Yeah,
I
because
might wanna just-
isn't that the dancing on Sunday you didn't like?
that's
Oh,
what
no, I was
thought-
just bringing it up because I thought it was next. Usually we have to do
No,
them separately.
He mentioned
No,
the
I
Sunday.
didn't do it. I did it all at once. Nope.
I heard him say the
Yeah.
words.
Yeah,
Annual
and Sunday.
Okay, all right.
Now-
Take
now-
back my
Now watch,
rant.
someone's gonna wanna get married at the diner on a Sunday.
Yeah, right. And they won't be able to dance. Or have any music whatsoever. Want to open the warrant for the May 2nd annual town meeting? Date, it can't come fast enough. When's the election? Is it?
It's right after
So that's
that,
the,
We're not
that's on a
having
Friday,
one
it's
this
the
year,
5th.
Lonnie.
Yeah.
We're skipping.
It's on the 5th, right?
Everyone's
2nd,
extended.
Friday, 3rd, 4th? Oh, it would be the 6th.
I move to open the warrant for the May 2nd annual town meeting.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Is Shirley coming at 8:30?
That's what she said.
Okay. We might not be here.
Yeah, this-
Slow down.
She is in the building.
Okay, we'll go get.
Can I-
So the thing with Shirley, though, is sorry, go ahead.
No, this was just about the warrant as well. The warrant needs to close on March 25th by state law because it's the annual. So if I could have the articles by noon on the 25th.
That's so frustrating.
It's not a lot of time, but a lot of the articles
not
are
a-
standard,
Oh, no, I know.
except for the bylaws.
Okay.
We are putting bylaws on the annual this year.
I'm all right.
I'm asking you guys. It depends on, you know what, I'd like to see what they are. I mean, I would rather not put a 5-pager on, but if we've got amendments that are time-sensitive or something like that, that are small, I would definitely be open to that. So let's see what she's got when she comes up at 8:30, thanks.
I'll leave it in your capable hands.
Oh, thanks. Part of my exit strategy. And honestly, I say that in jest. I thoroughly enjoyed being a selectman. I just like to keep things funny. Discuss a bring your own bottle policy. Is that for tonight, or is that just the ongoing agenda item? Do we have something for it? Something new?
The public safety was going to,
Weigh
is that
in.
the public?
Yeah,
The chief was supposed to
Chief
look
was
at
going to
that.
look at, or Dave.
Where did we leave off with that? We were
I think we
close to
have-
being done, right?
I thought we approved it pending public safety input.
Comments.
But I think there's also something, Mark,
Yeah, something was brought up to me, an interesting point about how does that apply to if there was to be an adult entertainment location? Does that interfere at all with?
we should probably bounce that one off town council, I would think.
That's a pretty good statement, because you know what, I don't know the answer to that, and they can't get a liquor license, and that was actually approved
Right.
and upheld, strangely enough.
So,
Question for council.
Well, that, and do we want to more officially put the policy on hold until we clarify that point?
Sure. Yeah, we can just send a quick email, what is the effect of bring your own bottle?
Do we know is it pending, is this in place? 'Cause we had a start date of March 1st, right? So we probably want to, have we received any inquiries on it yet?
Not since the first inquiry that,
But they
Started us
haven't
looking
followed
into
up on the process to,
To finalize it, right?
so perhaps we want to kind of suspend our policy until we receive clarification
Think
on
we
that.
need a motion on that?
move to suspend the BYOB policy
Second.
pending, well, no, that would be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, done. And can we ask the question of council?
I will.
Discuss rules and regulations for secondhand dealers?
This
Public
is,
safety was gonna stop by tonight and.
I don't believe they're coming this evening at all.
Oh,
I mean, other than that, public safety.
no, wrong public safety.
Discuss Open Americans with Disability Act report. Kevin Rudden to attend 8:30.
Yeah, we're,
Ways away.
These might be, discuss insurance company loss control analysis.
that much we can do. There you go, right, right.
Oh,
public
right,
safety?
okay.
I'm going
Okay, see you there.
to, excuse me.
Bye. What meeting are you going to attend? With employees? School. You. Selectman Goddard is heading up to the union negotiation meeting up at the school for the union employees to sit in on that, so he's leaving us. Thanks a lot. All right. What do you got for us?
I believe I gave Diane a copy of the report with some photographs for the Meyer inspection at the fire station,
Okay,
with what we've done so far, what needs to be done for the future.
okay. What do we have, are they large items?
Probably more small items than large items, but two big things that need to be done. They show the tiles that have been damaged by water. Need to fix the roof before we continue to replace the tiles, so.
Okay.
The roof leaks.
Where's the tile, where's the roof?
It's in the back side of the building over the bedrooms.
Okay, all right, I know where you are, yep, up in the area that we built?
Correct.
Okay,
That's where the major leaks are.
okay.
So that has to be fixed before we can continue the replacement.
Do we have any estimates on
We do
roof
not.
repair?
Not on the roof, no.
Okay. Could we get some estimates for roof repair? And I would, have them assess the roof and recommend repairs
Okay.
along the whole roof. I don't want to, rather do it all right than patchwork. Okay. Now, is that where the gutters ripped off? That have anything to do with
It's
it?
in that area.
In that area, okay.
Yes.
I remember, that was when we had that heavy snow and ice.
So if that's the case, can that be covered under the insurance?
I don't know what caused the roof to, I think the
Right.
roof was leaking before the gutters,
Okay, yeah, okay.
to be honest.
And obviously, a roof isn't covered under our insurance.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I mean, the gutters were replaced with insurance.
Right.
Right, because there was damage during the start of the storm. Okay, so we'll get an estimate for the roof repairs. And then the second major item is the
Second major
tile
item
repair?
Would be the rug replacement inside
Eh,
the building.
In,
The tiles are simple to replace. Matter of fact, we have some that we've already replaced.
oh, these are rug tiles we're talking about.
No, these are ceiling tiles that they marked on in their report. They're damaged, they were wet.
These are the ones, okay, I think, am I getting?
There
my-
are two issues. One's
Yeah,
the
we-
rug and one's.
So we've got the roof leaking, which is causing ceiling tile damage,
Yep.
just ceiling tile damage.
Right.
Now, the rug, is there rug in the top?
The rug upstairs has been damaged.
By the water?
By the water coming through the ceiling tiles.
Okay.
And the rugs downstairs should be replaced according to their report.
And that's in the main lobby area,
Lobby,
offices?
in the emergency operations area, and
Okay.
the offices.
Okay, so we'll get an estimate on, yeah, ceiling tiles are, I mean, do we just replace those ourselves?
Yes, we have been doing that ourselves.
Okay. So we'll get the roof repaired, which will stop that, and then the next item would be rug replacement for pretty much the entire
the whole
building.
building,
Okay.
correct.
Why don't we get an estimate on that?
Okay.
So we know what we're talking about money-wise, because that's where we can start to find these things. First of all, let's stop the problem.
Right.
With the roof repair, and we'll see where we can put that in the budget if possible. And then we can start to take these other items into account. Go ahead, why don't we just run down the rest of the list?
Yep, the next major item it will have a cost to it is, we have some small gas containers that we use for the portable equipment. They request that those be put into a non-flammable container. We got a price on that of almost $1,000. That's gonna have to be purchased at some point in time, whether we do it the next fiscal year or not,
Okay.
just to store those containers in.
So these are just gas cans?
Correct.
Like plastic gas cans that need to go in another container?
Correct.
Okay.
They want it in flammable storage.
Non-flammable storage at the fire department. You couldn't get the fire truck any closer to it.
No.
All right. No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The next item was the lift that's presently there for maintenance. We're awaiting an inspection on that. The question rose now that it possibly is going to
We
be
might be
moved.
moving that.
Should we hold off on that until it's
Yes.
moved and have it re-inspected?
Yeah, yeah, might as well get the inspection done while it's being installed. All right, great. So we'll just cross that one off the list.
Well, can you tell me when it's going to be moved so I
Well,
can tell them?
I don't know the
No.
date when it's going to be moved. The inspection was supposed to be this week until I told them to hold off.
Oh, how much is the inspection? Could we ask, okay, would we pose the question that, so it's gonna have to be inspected again, though, when we move it, no matter
That's
what?
what I believe, right?
All right, so let's see if we can get a date of when we're gonna move. I know we discussed it, we kind of tabled it the last time we talked about it at the Finance Committee meeting. I think what we need is a price on moving it.
Okay. But do you want me to do some of that, or is Alan going to take care of that?
Whoever can,
I'll work on it.
maybe
Okay.
reach out to him, ask him if he's going to check on it, and if not, if we
So I
could.
don't want to see us spending money to have it inspected twice.
Yeah, it's kind of silly, especially if we're gonna move it in a month.
Correct.
You know, if we've got enough money to do the move, then let's figure out how we can do that. Go ahead.
Both restrooms, they want GFCI plugs put in.
Okay,
We'll take care of that.
oh, okay.
So there'll be minimal cost to that, it won't be just probably the items themselves.
Okay.
All right, and the rest of it was just cleaning of certain areas, which we did, and that's the pictures that I provided Diane
Okay.
with, just to show that we did it.
Okay, so just to recap, we have roof, estimate, rugs, estimate, fireproof container, or, was it like is it really like a full-size?
It's a big
Yeah,
metal
it's right.
cabinet that says flammable on the front of it. We
Oh, man.
require it for most of the businesses that have that, so we probably should have something like that as well, since we,
Okay. No problem. Fireproof, what is it? Cabinet. All right. And you said that's about,
yeah, the price
1K?
we got was just under $1,000
okay,
from who we do business with.
okay. What we should probably do is get, okay, once we get all the estimates, we'll meet with the FinCom and do that. And then, so, lift, we're gonna look at, estimate to move. Okay, great.
I'll get a price on what it's gonna be to inspect, just so we know.
Sure, yeah, yeah, if it's $25, maybe we just say inspect.
I think the only other thing on the list was the foliage around the building. They just requested it removed away, cut back from the building itself. Some of it's
Meaning-
touching the actual building.
So, some landscaping?
Yes.
More or less?
We'll
Oh,
handle that ourselves.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry?
We'll handle that.
Oh, okay,
It's
all
a
right.
matter of simple trimming.
Okay, so you guys will do that?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Just when the snow's gone, we'll take care of it.
No problem. Yeah, all right, so I think that's good. Once we get the numbers, you got anything else on that, Mark?
We'll get
Nope.
some numbers for you. I'll get a
Great.
report to Diane.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay, there are more items on that list, some of, from the town hall, but, well, I don't know if we want to wait for Kevin Rudden. Some of the things I'm thinking could come under ADA, but there were other items that,
does Kevin have this list? He has this list? So he should be able to determine whether or not they come under that, so they can be
Yep.
paid with CPC money?
right. There were a couple things that were taken care of. Do you want to go through the things I already took care of, or just ones that are still open?
What's open?
There's tile flooring in the mechanical room downstairs where the oil burner is.
Yeah.
And it's cracked and the floor is uneven now. And they're saying it could cause a trip hazard.
Okay. High traffic area?
It's like this much.
So I don't know,
The throw rug.
that's a hazard too.
I know,
'cause
it's
that's-
flammable, yeah, the slide.
So,
Oh, how do we make it through all of our lives without dying on these cracked tiles, these slippery rugs? Oh,
you
my
jinxed
God.
us. Someone will.
Ah,
fall.
well, yeah, sorry.
So, get an estimate to get those
Sure,
tiles?
we're gonna have to, right? Or they're not gonna insure us?
Okay, let's see, that's all set, that's all set.
Find out, get an estimate, then ask them what the difference is in the premium if we don't do it.
How badly do we have to do this? There were some, oh, that's all police station.
Police station stuff we already know about. Need a new one.
Well, and I'm wondering how long they're going to accept that.
They just took a picture of the police station and put it in the report.
All right, the other ones are ADA.
Okay, so I think that as long as Kevin has those under his
Yep.
purview, that we'll be good there. All right, anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Authorization for the Hampshire Council of Governments letter, do we have that?
Yep.
Right here? Oh,
Yeah, I
Is this
move
it?
to sign the letter of authorization for the Hampshire Council of Governments.
is this one? No, this is a public hearing.
Oh, here it is, right here.
I forgot this other thing, the positive
Gonna second
tobacco.
that?
Oh, I'll step down as chair in second. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Sorry. Announce the positive tobacco compliance check. Assuming that's what this is. Okay. As part of its ongoing commitment to the residents of Mendon, the Board of Health has been pursuing the activation of tobacco compliance checks in our community. On Monday, February 17th, 2014, the Mendon Board of Health conducted a tobacco compliance check based on the results submitted. The board is very pleased to announce that no tobacco products were sold. The Board of Health would like to extend a hearty congratulations to all establishments that are permitted to sell tobacco in the town of Mendon for exercising their due diligence and responsibilities with respect to the sale of tobacco products. The Board of Health will continue to do periodic tobacco compliance checks throughout the year to ensure responsible oversight for such an important health matter. Perfect. Consider letter of support for tax classification to state delegations.
Can I give that to you? Do you have that?
It's right here.
Phew.
What is it? Just a letter?
You probably have to read, I would suggest reading it, because I don't know if you want to do it or not.
Is it time sensitive?
There is a date in there, I'm not sure what it is.
I don't know, I'd like to understand the impact of that a little bit better. So what it looks like, okay. Currently, communities in the Commonwealth have very little room to provide relief to small businesses who often lack the financial resources to effectively compete. The current small business exemption allows for companies with valuations less than $1 million and who have less than 10 employees to be eligible for a 10% tax credit. The credit is then pushed within the CIP to larger companies in the communities. Oh, okay, so they just pick up the difference. I see what they're saying there now. So what they're looking to do is expand the current tax exemption from 10 to 20% of the respective tax bill, allowing communities to expand the assessed value exemption from 1 million to 2 million, increase the number of employees of small businesses can have to qualify for the exemption from 10 to 20. So actually, there's really no impact except for the smaller companies, because the larger companies pick up the tab. Right. I'm a small company. They want me to sign it?
Well, they're asking for a letter of support to send to the legislators.
As long as the other guys are okay with it, I would support. I would write the letter.
I move to allow Chairman Tinio to sign a letter of support for tax classification to state delegations.
I'll step down as chair in second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Regular session meeting minutes, January 29, February 3, 6, 10, and 24. Executive session minutes, January 29, February 3rd, 10, and 24, not to be released.
I move to approve the regular session meeting minutes of January 29th, February 3rd, 6th, 10th, and 24th, and executive session minutes of January 29th, February 3rd, 10th, and 24th, not to be released.
Step down in second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss potential meeting for March 31st to sign the warrant and National Grid potential hearing.
Yeah,
Oh, was that this hearing?
Yes.
You want me to read this?
If you want,
Or do you just need me to sign it?
just need it signed.
We'll be having a hearing here on March 24th at 7:45 PM. This will be for National Grid to locate manholes, wires, and ducts, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures along and across the public way of Vincent Road / Strawberry Lane. National Grid will install one pull box over existing UG primary and run new conduit to feed new development on Strawberry Lane. All interested parties will be given the opportunity to be heard. Okay. Consider purchasing prisoner, they wanted to table, Finance Committee wanted to table that, or Rich did anyway, because he wanted to discuss that.
It's fine.
Is that okay
Table
for
to.
next meeting?
The next meeting?
Yeah, well, next one that Rich is available.
They have a printer now, though, aren't they?
They
They
do it,
to
they're,
another-
yes, they're redirected. BOS approval needed to use J. Tallerman for 40B issues, billed directly to the BOS, and builder reimburses. This must be for issues down at Cobbler's Knoll. J. Tallerman was the counsel that had been working that, working with the ZBA,
Yeah.
actually working for the ZBA directly for quite some time, and is probably the most knowledgeable on that. I'm okay with it. I worked with Mr. Talman before on those 40B issues, and it just would come out of the council line item. But is probably the most familiar with it, and would be the most effective and efficient at taking care of whatever issues need to be done. And the builder will be reimbursing us, so.
Okay, because the admin for the ZBA asked if that, you wanted to be part of procedure, if they needed to use Mr. Talaman, if they needed to come to the selectmen first, or if they could just use Mr. Talaman, have us get billed, and then we would forward the bill to
Okay, sure.
the builder.
I would just, and again, that's really a decision for these guys to make, because they're gonna be here a bit longer, that I would ask that, I'm okay with that, as long as that they would be notifying us that it's happening.
Okay.
Just so we don't get a surprise
Yep.
bill from Talaman. And again, something that the town administrator will definitely be able
Mm-hmm.
to have a better insight on, being here on a daily basis. All right,
Yeah, that sounds good.
fair enough? So if we could, so I guess the answer is yes, just notify us when the dates that he'll be in use, when they're gonna use them.
Okay.
Transparency, what? That's a
That's-
transparency?
For this.
Oh,
I
could,
would say just
Add-
detail it a little bit.
if they could add some detail to their annual report item, just maybe
Okay.
addresses, and maybe what the permit was. Annual town report submission for, I don't have that. I will get it for you.
Thank you.
All right. Consider entertainment license for Miss Mendon Diner. Oh, we already did that. Is that it?
Until we can get
Another half
Mr.
hour.
Rudden and,
Was Linda coming up tonight?
No.
Oh, she wasn't? I just saw that. Did you guys see the email? All right, so maybe we can just work with her a little bit to
Yeah, I talked
Okay.
to her about it a bit.
get that done, just so that everybody's happy. I think that we can come to an equal compromise on that. Well, I suppose, do we have any executive session stuff tonight? We do? How much?
just one item.
Want to just go into executive session right now and get it out of the way, and then we'll come reconvene back into open? Huh? Would you guys mind stepping out just for a few minutes?
So you can't say,
Right. What we're gonna say, what we'll say is, we'll reconvene into open session.
Do you want me to,
Yeah, why don't we,
I mean, you
Can
want
you
to shut
pause
it all
the-
off, or?
can you pause, why don't we just go, why don't you guys stay here? Why don't
Okay,
we
we'll
just
go
go,
down.
why don't we just go downstairs real quick, does that make
All right,
sense?
so I moved,
I think it's better than.
yeah.
Yeah,
I move to enter into executive session, MGL, Chapter 30A, Section 21, to conduct a strategy session with respect to contract negotiations with the town administrator, as an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body, and the chairman so declares, will reconvene into open session. A roll call vote is needed.
I'll step down in second, all in favor?
Real aye?
Tenio, aye. Be right back.
It's not that long, is it?
Sunday was no good.
You put the fun in fundraising.
Yes, yeah. And now we're back. So who's coming? Shirley and
And Kevin. Did you go down to planning board, Bill, Willem?
Am I?
Did you go down just now?
No. I have no business there.
no plans at the planning board?
No.
All right. Do we want to wait or do we want to table it?
Well, Shirley's in the building. I wonder if she can
Oh,
come up
yeah.
here.
Oh, maybe let's go, yeah, we'll go see if I can find it.
Because she really wants to come in, so.
Yeah, yeah, all right. And that'll actually eat up the extra time.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't know how he does this. So much.
You guys got the easy part.
But it's very helpful.
I'm glad.
What came out on the Misco Spring Bottling Company?
They're looking at, they're gonna have a meeting on March 19th at around 7 o'clock in the town hall. They're trying to gather ideas for an alternative use for that building to try to,
To buy it or?
no, how does that work with the delay? The
Develop-
whole point of that delay is to,
To find an alternate use as opposed to demolishing the building, to find another use for the building.
But it's sold. Is
Yeah.
it sold?
well, it's owned by another, yes,
And they want to tear it down, basically?
right.
Right, but they're working with the historical commission.
Okay, okay.
So there's a 6-month demolition delay.
Is
Okay,
it
that's
6
good.
or 3?
So it
Is
says.
it 6? That's what I
At least
wrote.
it gives everybody a chance.
Right. Because that's a nice building. You know,
On the outside, I don't know.
yeah. It's very historical. Is that a word?
It's historically significant.
Very well.
And that meeting on the 19th, that's going to be here?
Up here,
Yes.
yeah.
And that's some sort of a hearing, or?
It's just it looks to me like just a general meeting to gather ideas. They were mentioning,
Dialogue to with the new
Yeah.
owners?
yeah, to come up with a plan.
Next Thursday.
Are you planning on going?
I might.
Well, if you're here, you want to record and broadcast it.
Oh, that was the other thing that was talked about. They want to broadcast it.
Okay. Yeah, but.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is no problem, but do you need to ask permission from the broadcasting company, or do they need to know, or?
I don't know, because we really,
Because if you-
true, because we usually send them the agenda and they know when the meetings are coming up.
Right.
So maybe when I
I don't know how this works,
Yeah.
I'm just
Do you want to
turning that stuff on and
just
that's
send
it.
them a
yeah,
notice? and see?
well, because
Huh?
they're gonna have to add, well, what's the word? They're gonna have to post the meeting, and I can just make sure when Kathy posts the meeting to send it to the
There.
cable
Send me
company.
the contact information also for the company who's doing it, and I will give them a call to introduce myself, and so they can explain what is going. I have no the slightest idea of what's going on now, so or
Okay.
who's doing what, and I just push the button and I know it goes out somewhere, and
Where'd Lonnie go?
We lost him.
Did you see Lonnie downstairs? Did he?
Yeah, he saw us walk up here.
You guys were way ahead of schedule, so he has to come
March 19th?
It is March 19th.
Did you see that?
Hmm.
I'm trying to decipher it and I'm not sure. There are way too many articles in there.
Sorry, ask Shirley to come up and then I got caught.
Yeah.
Shirley, come on up.
Hurry up, wanna go home?
Trying. So this would be to discuss some items for the annual.
Warrant articles, yeah, we need 4.
What do you got?
Okay. First thing is this one, the inclusionary bylaw. Here, pass it around, just in case anybody wants to look at it. And that's basically a developer has to give 10% of, if they build a development, 10% has to be affordable. And, they get some perks in return for that, but
Now, I'm sorry, real quick, is this a mandatory for every development, or is this for if somebody wanted to?
6 or more.
Six or more
So the
homes?
small ones that we mostly have it wouldn't apply to that. That's to keep that 10% that we're mandated for affordable, the state mandates us to have. And that Bill McHenry here is trying to get done.
Okay.
It keeps it from being a moving target, because if the developers come in and they just keep, you're never going to catch up. So that's all that's about. And that has been approved by the Department of Housing and Development, DHCD.
Okay.
And you want to say something about that?
Not necessarily, unless you have specific questions or don't understand generally what this bylaw is about.
Yeah, I understand it.
Right.
I mean,
Well, yeah, it's hard just
yeah,
glancing through.
I'll take a peek at it. I don't see.
But you need it for your
What, just so you guys are aware, what we're trying to, and we'll go through the next 3 that you got real quickly here too, is that for the annual, we want to try to keep anything lengthy to a minimum.
I'm putting sending a letter to the editor tomorrow, because we've set the public hearing for the 24th, so I can get these into Diane for the 25th, for the deadline.
Yep.
And to urge people to come to the public hearing rather than,
Sure, understood, but you know how that
yeah,
rolls sometimes.
I know, yeah.
I think at last year's annual, we have 40 people or something showed up.
Well, will this bring more people?
Oh, I don't know.
If
Yeah,
the
see,
bylaws
this
might
doesn't
be-
generally affect,
I can't see it being all that controversial.
Not this one, I'm saying
this,
general
this
bylaw.
item doesn't generally affect much in the way of the general public.
Right,
This affects
exactly,
the
yeah.
developer side of the house.
You'll get a few developers there that might
Although-
object.
Only developers that live in town, though, so.
Yeah,
Although
I mean,
it'd be
this-
good to present in front of a wider audience instead of
Sure.
a smaller
Yeah.
special meeting.
And that's always the argument of the annual town meeting.
Right.
So let's go through them, and let's go through the next few.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that yes or, none of us are saying yes or no to this
Right.
yet, but again, we're just.
Right.
There's only 2,
The other thing to keep in mind too is we have a special town meeting shortly thereafter,
Right.
that we could possibly put
but
them
this
on.
one we'd rather,
I think
that
it-
one we definitely need to have on the annual, because the
Okay.
more people, the better.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
And the next one that we've been working on since 2007, the accessory dwelling units, the accessory apartment bylaw. We worked on it, we had 2 public hearings, we've dealt with everybody's issues and complaints, everything is in there. Then we brought it to the selectmen, you may remember, Lonnie, that we brought it to selectmen, and they said, no, we want the affordable component in there. Well, we couldn't do that until the town hired Bill here. So I worked with him, and we have the affordable component in there.
And to that,
It's kind of like a sub-bylaw within the bylaw.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, so there's
It
a-
legitimizes accessory apartments, and then underneath that, there's another provision for how you would handle creating affordable accessory dwelling, which really is sort of a different animal, but it's still within, as
Okay.
a subset of
And
accessory
there's the
units.
bylaw.
So it's pretty clearly delineated separately, discussed separately in the bylaw itself.
Okay, so this bylaw here, so these are additions. This is an addition, inclusionary is an addition to our current bylaws.
Yes.
Correct.
This is an addition to our
Yes.
current bylaw.
Correct.
Okay, we don't have either part of that in, okay?
Right.
Okay, and next one?
Third one? Okay. Margaret came to me and asked for a new dog bylaw. So, and the reason for that is the state has not completely, but they've made a tremendous amount of changes in their animal control bylaws. And so she really has to do this. So I worked on it and got all the state laws and checked other towns and everything. So I came up with an animal control bylaw that she likes very much.
Wait a minute.
One sec, go ahead.
And there's an issue with the animal control officer, I guess, is an out-of-town person. And the animal inspector has got issues with her. All these rules, she's not doing anything, so she's certainly not going to do any of these. I was at the, when he had his interview with the Board of Health, I was very impressed by this young man. His name is Max. And he seems, full of energy, enthusiasm, well-educated, seems to love the work. It doesn't pay that much. It seems like the animal control officer should be someone in town. I mean, that's up to you guys, but, so Margaret wants this on the annual, but I've got to work out who's going to be doing what before, but she's very happy with it. Someone that...
Do we have a hearing on this one yet?
What?
Has there been a hearing on this one yet?
You don't need one, it's a general bylaw. Has nothing to do with the planning board, thank God.
So a general bylaw, does it even need to go to?
It needs just a majority vote, but I've got to straighten out the titles, we really should have somebody in town, because,
And this is an adjustment.
No,
This is all new, or this is an
It's going to
adjustment?
replace what's in there now?
it's going to replace what's in there now, yes.
Well, you can't say no, but you can say no, but
Good. I mean, we have been beating this to death now for the last 3, 4,
this is
5 years.
something totally different.
I know, but there's kind of ways to find something to bring something else in.
Here, take this, compare it against the other one, and let me know what you think.
Just by glancing through this, it
But
does not
you-
seem
it's-
to be
It's the
very...
state law, you have to, the old one doesn't comply with the state law, so you have to,
Maybe before you say no, I think you should look at it.
and there's 40 pages of state law that I studied all of it, so
Just take a peek
everything
at-
in there is under state law.
It's more, it looks to me like more of a lot of definitions.
Yeah.
So take a peek at it. Okay, so dog
No,
bylaw.
you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, no, but take a look at it. Yeah. And what's the fourth one?
All right, the fourth one is a warrant article to accept the easement that the Brewer family, Peter and Justine, have given us to connect the town forest with the 170-acre Cormier Woods, 175-acre Cormier Woods, and the 90-acre Meadowbrook Woods. And I have it all here at no cost to the town.
No, that's fine.
He
That-
paid
that's
his
fine.
lawyer fees,
Yeah,
so I'm writing out the warrant article, and so, but it does have to be accepted by the town.
Okay.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. For right now, I think that I'd say okay with these.
I would too.
Yep. I really don't see an issue with it. Even the dog one too, again, let's get it on there. I see the dog one, honestly, and it'll probably go completely the opposite way, right, that I say it, because it's just the way, because you never can tell with these things. The accessory apartment use will hang us up for, 3 weeks. So, just based on glancing at that, I don't see a huge issue with that, but just because it has to do with dogs, people will probably be slightly passionate about it, and you're going to see probably some people come out to the meeting. We'll have actually some extra people at the meeting just because of that bylaw.
Well, let me tell you.
If you want a lot of people, we can put the leash law on it. That'll really bring them out.
The state dog bylaws have not been changed since like 1900. And a bunch of animal activists got together, I think it was from the town of Dennis, and they worked for 10 years rewriting this law.
10
And
years.
it's got a lot in there that the animal activists would like keeping a dog tied up. The old bylaw, you could keep them tied up forever, there were no rules. Now it's a very limited time, things like that. So it's for the benefit of the animals. That's a lot of the rewriting. They did up some of the fees, like if you do violations, it's gone from $25 to $50.
Yeah, I'm not
but-
worried. I mean, I don't think fees are
No.
really the concern. I think that what Will was actually even getting at was that we just went through the whole bylaw piece with as far as, the chickens and the animals and what you can have on your property.
yeah, but-
And I think that and that's why I wanted him to look at that.
They'll like this one. This one
Because-
they'd like, yeah.
Well, be careful.
Yeah.
I just wanted Will to see it, because I didn't want him to think that, it doesn't seem to, that bylaw, at first glance to me, does not seem to be anything that is more restrictive or anything like that. It actually seems to be more definition-based and more,
Yeah.
again,
It's
like you
far
said,
better than the
more
one that
for
we
the,
have.
for
It's
the,
much
more for the animal than it is.
It strikes me if somebody comes out with something else again and again and again, and
And that's why I wanted you to look at it. Yep,
that's why it got voted down the last time again. So,
understood.
And there are fees in.
But if you could work out something with the animal control officer, like I said, I'm very impressed with this young man, and
Well, all right, he would need to come in and see us.
is the animal control officer, what's wrong with him?
No,
No.
you're confused. The animal control officer is the lady from Douglas.
Oh, okay.
And
The
she
animal
never
inspector is the new
responds.
guy.
she never responds to his.
Okay, so, so what we need though is, I can't really discuss that right
No,
here
no,
like this right now.
I know, but I just wanna put my 2 cents worth in.
He needs to come and talk to us.
I think he sent you a letter, or did he?
Oh.
He didn't?
We haven't received
Not
it.
yet? Oh.
I mean,
Okay, cool. Yeah, like I said, I didn't want you to think it was something like just another area. I understand, I'm trying to keep you on the up and up. All right, we'll take
The
it.
animal lovers would like this.
well, yeah, publish it, I mean, put it in the newspaper, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, so people read it, so put it online.
Okay,
There was another one that Margaret suggested was changing how special and annual town meetings are posted. I think I
I
sent
don't
you
know anything
that.
about that.
whatever she wants to put.
So, but it's very short. But just to make you aware, these are very long, so it's definitely going to take extra postage to mail them to residents. So we're definitely most likely gonna need more money in the budget in order to pay for the advertising for this.
It is.
That's fine. Finance committee will find it.
The animal, it's not finalized yet. I'm gonna work with Max, I'm gonna.
Yeah, but you're gonna send final copies of everything by March 25th?
Oh, yeah, I'll have, yeah.
Yeah, no, you gotta
Everything
retype all
else
those
is, the
things.
inclusionary department, but I'll send it to you, yes, yeah.
And when you do send it, make sure it's in the format. I'll talk to you later. but
Yeah,
just make sure.
yeah, okay.
What else you
Well, I
got?
just wanted to say, like, after you've had a chance to read the inclusionary and the accessory apartment bylaws, if you have any, questions that you think might, also be asked by the general public, or you have ideas about way we could make, information more, complete and transparent, either through the website or whatever,
Sure.
I'd appreciate that feedback, just so we can,
Yeah, no, understood.
get the information out there.
The toughest part about these bylaws is we try, and you guys especially, try to work so hard at having people involved, and there's just not that involvement much from the community unless a
Totally
hot
understand.
button item comes up, like we had with,
right.
with the zoning bylaws changes, and, the camp. So there was a hot button item, so people were engaged to come out. Accessory use, I mean, if I had to say something, email it, try to get it to the folks that actually I'm sure you've noted where every accessory use is right now that we know about. Let those folks know, because they're gonna be the most engaged by it, because they have it and it might affect them. It might affect them in a positive way, so it might grow
Yeah.
support.
There is really no negative that I see.
Sure. And then, as far as the other one for the developers, speaking on the developer side of the house, I don't know how much I would love to.
Understood.
To do that, but from where I'm sitting right now, from the community standpoint, I think it's the right way to go.
Correct.
Yeah. that's the right thing to
And I
do.
think that you're probably going to start to see more of that in all the communities around.
That's exactly what we'd expect.
And I would probably have been even less for it, or less understanding of it from the developer side of the house, but we're working in Blackstone right now, and we actually did a flex permit with them, meaning where we gave back some open space. A couple of the houses had to be affordable, so it would actually worked out. When you take the 40B out of it,
Right.
that permit out of it, it becomes a lot easier to manage.
Right.
So with respect to these, to encourage that, I think you'll probably see more builders be a little bit more excited about it and less threatening of a 40B when you can do something like that and,
Right.
get a little
Yeah.
couple
And it gives the
concessions.
town a chance
Yep.
to define
Yeah, it's
its
such a horrible
its own
experience
direction.
of a 40B that, anything we can do to prevent that is good.
Yep.
And
Well,
also-
again, I don't want to, 40B is actually, when done right,
Well,
is correct. You have to look, it's not always the law, it's not always the outcome, it's actually sometimes it's who's putting it together.
That's true.
And that's where I think we ran into our biggest problems.
That's true.
I do have Q and As on each, the inclusionary and the accessory apartment. Just imagine what questions people would have. So I'll have those for handouts at
Okay.
town meeting.
Maybe we could
It
get those up on the
explains
site.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, the new site's supposed to go live
April 1st.
April 1st, so that gives us,
Perfect.
and that's going to get some traffic, because people are going to be interested to see what it looks like. Plus, it's so easy to manage for you guys that you can just start plopping
Oh,
stuff
I
up there.
love it. I've got
Can't
two
wait.
websites, Town Forest and my own for the zoning bylaws.
Oh, and you've been putting stuff on, have you been using it?
Yeah, Well, I've
You
I've been
understand-
sending them stuff to put on. I've got
Oh,
the
great.
inclusionary and the apartment bylaw on
Good,
there
good.
already.
Yeah.
And I'll
I
put the
think
Q and As on,
Yeah, it's so easy to upload
And then
PDFs
I'm
and
gonna,
things
I'll
like
write a
that.
letter to the editor to tell people it's there, look,
Great.
look it up, so, just so
Okay.
people will know.
Great, thank you all so
Okay,
much.
All right, okay, Lonnie.
Thank you so much for coming up early, Shirley.
You're gonna have handouts for the town meeting, just so she has enough space.
He went up
put
to
it
the,
Yes, yeah.
the school union negotiations. Yeah, we're all over the place tonight.
Okay, can you email that to me? Can you email that one? The licensing, the dog licensing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I don't think I have your,
Yeah, you do.
yeah, I do, okay, all right.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Will email you so you have it. All right, thank you, guys. So we'll give ADA 5 more minutes before we adjourn. I have not even read emails today.
Should we get the animal control issue on an agenda?
Sure, next agenda.
Because wasn't that an issue that Upton came to us about, sharing someone? We never really.
Yeah, right now, we currently share with Douglas and Uxbridge, and we save a ton of money, but if,
If they're not doing the job, then
Then-
we should look for something
And you
else.
pay them, or you pay them by incident?
no, we pay them by contract. We pay a portion of I think it's Uxbridge, Mendon, and Douglas. We all share the same one, and it cost us $9,000.
So you want that subject on the agenda, or do you want the animal control officer
Can
invited?
can you send me the contract or the
Let's say a
agreement?
subject first.
Huh?
Can you email me the agreement or the contract or whatever?
We don't have any of that. I mean, yeah, of course we do. Whatever you need, whatever you need.
$9,000, I wanna see
Sure.
basically the $9,000.
Yep, I think it's just actually an invoice we get from one of the other
I
towns.
think it's a contract.
Is there a
Yeah,
contract?
Margaret was looking at the other day.
Okay, yeah, well, we can get you that.
Then we should review that.
Sure.
Next meeting.
I don't want the job.
Yeah, send it to Will. He's gonna go to,
He's gonna give us a report on it by the next meeting.
No, but if you pay $9,000 for nothing, then.
oh, sorry, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at something.
But it doesn't matter, I'm immune for that.
Oh, do share, Lonnie.
It's my daughter. Running around in her mother's Uggs. Is, Hi, Lucy. One of the fringe
You
benefits.
saying hi to your fans?
Yep, my daughter.
Oh,
One of the fringe benefits of
well, then we know
being the
system-
selectman.
We know the system is working.
Yeah, well, someone's watching.
Yeah, somebody's watching.
Only in the little.
To say hello to,
Yeah,
I'd like to wish
yep,
so-and-so a happy
yeah, we're giving shout outs. Will, you got anybody to say hi to?
No,
All right.
some people rather don't see me, you know?
Let's ask.
did Kevin
Kevin.
get to turn his clock, or?
No, that's all right. He might be tied up where he was at. Let's just have him come in at the next meeting if that's okay. Fair enough? Motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn? Oh.
There's a,
It's no open
Next.
forum.
next week on the 17th, I think it is, yeah, there's the budget hearing.
The big hearing to close the budget?
Yeah.
And that's on the 17th?
It's on the 17th at Nipmuc School in Upton.
Is that for the school budget? Just
For the school budget or our budget?
No, the school budget.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
The school budget.
I thought we were going up there. I'm like, where are we
Oh,
going
no,
there? Okay, so
Because
what time do you know?
probably at 7.
That's a Monday?
Yep, next Monday.
Yeah. We just had a sub-budget
St. Patrick's
meeting.
Day.
I went to the sub-budget.
That's that is St. Patrick's Day.
And I must say, this superintendent does a fantastic job. He does.
That's great. Yeah. So school
That's money,
school budget hearing,
open budget hearing, 7:00 PM.
okay. The school's open budget hearing will be at 7 PM on next Monday, the 17th, which I believe is also St. Patrick's Day, at the Nipmuc High School in Upton.
Yep.
Okay. Other than that, do you have anything else, Will? When is our open budget hearing? Do we know yet?
No. Tomorrow night we have a big one,
What do you got tomorrow night?
BVT.
Coming here? So tomorrow night, the 11th at 7?
Yep.
So Tuesday, which is tomorrow night, the March 11th at 7 PM, Blackstone Valley Tech will be coming to discuss the budget with the Finance Committee up here at the Town Hall, if anybody's interested.
Are you coming?
Me? No, probably not.
I have class tomorrow night.
Yeah, we didn't have a meeting scheduled, so maybe one of us.
I will record it then.
Well,
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
is that it?
Think so. The town moderator has requested no bylaws on the annual town meeting.
Sorry.
Good luck.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Motion?
Yep. Second, step down,
Adjourn, yeah.
all adjourned, all in favor, aye.
It's 8:38.
I was gonna